All right. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So I'm excited to talk with you all about how to know if your marketing is working. But before we go into that, I just want to address a few questions that I'm sure a lot of you are wondering. And the first one is, why am I in a sling? Well, the short story is this spring I got really into mountain biking. And then this summer I got really out of mountain biking. So I thought I was much better than I actually was. I went off a jump that I definitely shouldn't have, had a pretty good wipeout, and I ended up tearing the ligaments that connect the collarbone from the shoulder. So that's why you're seeing me up here with the sling. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there, but there's some of you who might also be wondering, how much experience do I have with marketing funeral homes and crematories? So I just want to walk you guys through a few numbers. Just so you know, what I'm about to talk about today is based off of actual implementation and lots of testing and not just theory. So I'm one of the original co-founders of First Call Marketing. In our time, we've marketed for over 100 funeral homes and cremation providers. We've spent over $1.25 million on Google Ads just for funeral homes and cremation providers. We've generated over 10,000 plus qualified leads just from ads, and over 2,000 cases just from ads alone. So what we're going to talk about is not based off theory, it's based off of lots of testing. So just to give you guys some extra motivation to pay attention to what we're going to talk about and hopefully implement it into your funeral home, I want to share a quick example of a cremation provider in Massachusetts who implemented some of the things we're about to talk about. Before implementing them, they're averaging about 20 cases per month. After implementing it, they now average about 50 cases per month, and they did all of this without increasing their budget. So hopefully that gives you all some motivation to implement some of the things we're about to talk about when you get home next week. Now, the last question that I'm sure a lot of you are dying to know is, do I have an adorable son? And the question is yes. I became a father a month and 2 days ago, and so I figured it was only fitting to have that proud dad moment. Thank you. So yeah, first proud dad moment at a speaking engagement. So I actually asked him if he wanted to come co-speak with me, and he just kind of looked at me with a blank stare, so I took it as a no. But he said that he would come co-speak with me next year if a few of you become our clients, so that's some bribery there. Anyway, let's get rolling. I'm not much of a lecturer, so I'm going to require a lot of engagement from you guys, both by raising your hands. I'm going to need some of you to come up here on the stage with me. So if you're looking to take a nap, hang with me for another 30 minutes. You can nap during Zach's presentation afterwards. I'm just kidding. You'll want to listen to his. But anyway, we have hidden pink envelopes, just like the one up here on the screen, under the chairs in the audience. So if everyone can please check under your chair for a pink envelope, kind of feel around. It might be taped towards the front. It might be taped towards the back. And if you have it, yeah, we got a lucky person over there. Come on up over here. If there's an empty chair next to you, check under that one as well. And just to give you guys some extra motivation, there's real money in these envelopes. So come on up over here if you've got one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, all 4 are accounted for. All right, so if you've got an envelope, come on up here. And then I've asked 2 volunteers, Bryson and Edwin. Can you guys come up here as well to help me out? So,
are we allowed to open it or not?
Yeah, you can, but don't say what's in it yet. Okay, so Bryson and Edwin are going to, let's do this over here. Would you guys all mind scooting that way a little bit more? Okay, so Bryson and Edwin are going to hold up this black curtain. I thought it was a non-fitted sheet until 30 seconds ago, so you guys are going to have to do some stretching, but maybe like put a foot in it and pull one end down. Okay, so this curtain right here represents the marketing black curtain of unknown. Now, so many of us invest in marketing, and it feels like we're just throwing money over this black curtain, and we don't know what's going on behind it. We don't know what's working, what's not working, what our return on investment is. Sometimes we just don't even know what kind of campaign we've got going on. So we're going to do a quick activity. So let's do Edwin and Bryson. Let's scoot you guys back about here. And then our lucky pink envelope winners, I'll have, if you've got a number 1 on your envelope, come on over here. Okay, and number 2, hang out there for a second. Actually, everybody shift that way so we're not blinded by the projector here. Okay, so go ahead. You've opened your envelopes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start with you, sir. What's your name?
Howard.
Howard. Okay, so Howard, what do you have in your envelope?
Let me see.
Okay.
$10.
10 bucks. All right. So this 10 bucks represents Howard's business's marketing budget. Now, I sure as heck hope, Howard, you've got more than a $10 marketing budget.
Yes.
But I wasn't about to stuff $10,000 into each envelope. So, Howard, you're going to come over here.
Okay.
You're going to take 5 of those dollars, and you're going to crumple it up. Now, you're going to, quote unquote, invest that $5 into a marketing campaign, and you're going to throw it over this black curtain of unknown. Okay. So now we have Trevor over here, my handy dandy assistant. Everybody give Trevor a woo! Okay. So Trevor is now going to roll the dice behind the black curtain. If the number on the green die is higher than the number on the red die, then it means that Howard's marketing worked and his $5 is going to turn into 10. If the number on the red die is higher than the number on the green die, it means Howard's marketing is not working and the $5 is going to go to waste. So Trevor, roll the dice, please. Okay, so Howard, you did not set up proper tracking and analytics for your marketing, so you don't know if that $5 turned into 10 or if it went to 0.
Right.
So I'm going to give you an option here. You've got $5 left, right?
Yeah.
Half your marketing budget. I'll let you throw it over the market or invest in the marketing if you want and turn that potentially into another 10.
Okay.
Or you can just pocket it and keep it. What do you want to do?
Let's invest it.
Let's invest it. All right. Throw it on over.
There you go.
Okay. So Howard just invested his entire marketing budget without knowing if it was working or if it was. So Trevor, just for fun, let's reveal the results and see if Howard made 20 bucks or if he lost it all. And okay, so it was a 6 on the red and a 3 on the green. Everybody say, "Aw." Okay, thank you, Howard. So go ahead and Howard, can you step over to this side now? We're gonna hang out here. So unfortunately, you don't get the $10 I just gave you back. All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Regina.
Regina. Okay, Regina's same bucket as Howard. Go ahead, throw $5 over. This is half of your marketing budget. She tosses it over. Trevor, roll the dice. Let's see if her marketing is working or not. Okay, so Regina, you also did not set up proper tracking and analytics with your marketing, so you don't know if that $5 turned into 10 or if it went to 0. So I'm going to give you the same option as I gave Howard. Do you want to pocket the remaining $5 or do you want to invest it?
I'll keep it.
You'll keep it? Okay, hey, no shame. Okay, just for fun, Trevor, let's see the results, see if her marketing was working or not. Okay, so it was working, but since she didn't know it was working, she didn't reinvest in her marketing, and she could have turned her extra $5 into 10, but she didn't. But that first 5 you sent over turned into 10, so Trevor's going to make sure you're set up with $15 here. Okay, awesome. Regina, go ahead and step over here with Howard. Okay, moving on to group 2. What's your name, sir?
Lloyd.
Loy?
Yes.
Okay, so Loy, same thing as group 1. The only difference is you're going to have proper tracking and analytics set up. So after you throw it over the curtain, we're going to show you if it's working or not before you decide what you do with the second $5, okay?
Okay.
So wad up the first $5, invest it in the marketing, throw it over the black curtain of unknown. Trevor, roll the dice to determine if his marketing is working or not. Get it in position. And tracking and analytics is set up. So let's move the black curtain and see if his marketing is working or not. Okay, so it looks like it is working. So that $5 turned into 10. So I'll give you an option. Do you want to pocket that $5, your last $5, or do you want to throw it over and turn it into 10?
Turn it into 10.
Turn it into 10. Okay, so throw it on over. Turn it into 10. Okay, so we're going to set you up with 20 bucks, Loy. For the sake of speed, I'm going to give you that to you after. But go ahead and hang over here for a second. Okay, our last participant. What's your name, sir?
Doug, I have $1,000 in
$1,000, the lucky winner. Okay, so Doug, same thing as Loy. You're going to invest in the marketing. Throw it on over. Okay, Trevor, roll the dice. Let's see if it's working. All right, you set up proper tracking and analytics. Let's remove the curtain so we can see if the marketing is working or not. Okay, your marketing is working again. So do you want to pocket that 5 or throw it over and turn it into 10 again? Take a shot. Well, it's going to stay the same. It's already working, so it's an automatic 5 to 10.
Cool.
So throw it on over. Okay, so your $10 has turned into 20. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different with you. Remind me your name again?
Doug.
Doug. Okay, so Doug, you can now pocket the $20, or we can let you reinvest the $20 and turn it into 40. But you already know your marketing is working. Let's go ahead and remove the black curtain because he's got the correct analytics set up. So do you want to turn that 20 into 40 by throwing it over, or do you just want to pocket it?
Let's go.
All right. So you threw it over. We're going to speed through that. Here's a very official $40 IOU written on the back of an envelope.
Okay.
So now you can cash that out right now, or do you want to automatically turn that into $80?
I'll go for 80.
Okay, $80. Here's another very official IOU, $80 written on paper. So your marketing's working, your tracking and analytics are in place. You know when you invest in the marketing, you're getting money back, so you feel confident to reinvest.
Yep.
Do you want to turn that $80 into 160, or do you want to cash out the 180? Or cash out the 80?
I'll go for 160.
Okay, 160. All right. So Doug, unfortunately, this is where it's going to have to end, but here's $160 cash.
There you go.
I do have a son to provide for, so I'm not going to give you any more money, but you just turned $10 into $160.
Greatest program in the world. Just so you guys know, this is the best program.
Okay, so Doug, let's head over here with the other participants. Thank you, Edwin and Bryson. You guys can head back. I'll let you guys go back to your seats here in 1 second, but I want to ask you one question. If we could redo this activity, would you rather be in group 1 or in group 2?
Group 2.
Group 2. Okay, why? Why group 2?
Because they did their analytics and marketing.
Because they knew if it was working or not, so they could make wiser decisions. And therefore, Doug turned $10 into 160. Remind me of your name again?
Howard.
Howard. And poor Howard lost all of his money. So, okay, you guys can head back to your seats. I appreciate the help. Doug, I expect you to take us out to dinner tonight. Okay, so the only difference in group 1 and group 2 is the black curtain was removed, aka they had the proper tracking and analytics set up, and therefore it gave Doug the confidence to continue reinvesting in his marketing. So we're going to talk about how we can remove the black curtain so we can know if we're lighting money on fire like Howard or if we're printing money like Doug. So let's talk about how to remove the black curtain from marketing on Google. Can I get a raise of hands for anyone who's worked on or paid someone to work on their SEO on Google? Raise your hand if you've done that. Okay, cool. And then raise your hand if you worked on or paid someone to work on your Google ads before. Okay, cool. Raise your hand if you've never worked on or paid someone to work on your SEO or ads. Okay, handful, great. Now raise your hand if you have no clue what Google is and the internet scares you. Okay, all right, sounds good. So marketing on Google, the 2 main ways to do it is through SEO and through ads. And we're going to talk about how we can remove the black curtain from those so you can know if you're lighting your money on fire like Howard or if you're printing money like Doug. Okay, I'm a huge fan of marketing on Google, and here's why. Every year in the country, there are over 3.5 million searches for two terms, funeral home near me and cremation near me. Now, these are really high intent searches. They show, hey, I don't know what funeral home I'm going to use, so I'm jumping online to see what my options are. We've found that it's one of the main sources behind word of mouth and repeat families for how people find funeral homes. And people are becoming less loyal, so it's ever more important to be showing up on Google. So let's remove the black curtain from SEO. Okay, so the goal of SEO is to be found by more families by ranking higher on Google. So just to give you guys a quick refresher, if somebody jumps online and they search funeral home near me, they're likely going to see a few ads, and then they're going to see some organic listings like this. This right here is often referred to as the 3-pack because it's the top of Google. And I want to show you guys a tool that you can all implement in your funeral home or your business when you get home on Friday to know what your rankings are and then to be able to track your rankings to see if your SEO is improving and working. So raise your hand if you've seen a map like this for your business. Okay, we got 1 hand, 2 hands, David. Any other hands? Okay, so not a lot of you guys. So this map right here is a ranking heat map. It shows us how a funeral home is ranking when somebody searches the term funeral home near me with respect to location. So for this one, we're going to say this example right here. This pin is where this example funeral home is. We'll call it ABC Funeral Home. If I were inside ABC Funeral Home and I were to pull out my phone and I were to search funeral home near me, ABC Funeral Home would be showing up in that top spot. If I were to then hop in my car and drive just a mile or two to the east and pull out my phone and search funeral home near me, now ABC Funeral Home is showing up all the way down in the 12th position. So they're not even on the first page of Google. You have to click into more businesses and then scroll past 11 others. And then if you're still looking, you might find ABC Funeral Home. Now, the colors on this map are intentional. Where you see green, it means you're in the top 3 pack. It means you're showing up at the top of Google. Where you see orange, it means you're in positions 4 through 10. So you're doing okay there. You might have a chance of someone finding you. And then where you see red, you're practically invisible on Google because less than 5% of people make it that far. So I saw a lot of hands go up when I asked who's invested in SEO. And I saw 2 hands go up when I asked who's seen a map like this. Now, there are other ways to track, but this is a tool that I want you guys all be aware of that exists out there that you can implement to track to see if your SEO is improving. And so as you're working on your SEO efforts, start by running the report once, and then each month jump on, run the report, and see over time, is my coverage in green expanding? Are the green circles moving outward? Are the orange circles moving outward? And are the reds starting to fade off? Like you'll notice here, this one's a red dash because that means they're beyond the 20th position. Now it's a 3. So that person can be confident, hey, my SEO is working. They've removed the black curtain, and they can be confident in continuing to reinvest in their SEO efforts. So that's one of the ways we can remove the black curtain from SEO. Now, let's talk about removing the black curtain from Google Ads. Now, I love Google Ads because you can get really, really, really specific what your return is. You can be like Doug and put $10 into it and see, I got $20 back, so I'm going to put $20 back in and I'm going to get $40 back. And you can keep ramping it up. Now, before we talk about how we can do that on Google Ads, I want to talk about what a family's typical journey is with Google Ads. So my grandpa went into hospice and passed away a few years ago, and we didn't know what funeral home we were going to use. And so I was tasked with finding us a funeral home for us to use for my grandpa. So what did I do? I jumped on Google and I searched cremation near me. From there, I saw a bunch of ads. I clicked on one. I went to the website. I explored around the website. If I liked what I saw, I gave them a call. I reached out to them. I did this to a few places, gathered information, and then one of them I called back. And then from there, I made arrangements. I think we did ours online. And then from there, I paid. So that's the journey I went through when I was finding a funeral home for my grandpa. And that's what we see a lot of families go through. Now, I want to break this down a little bit more granularly. So at first, we start on Google. I turn to Google, I search funeral home near me, cremation near me. From there, I go to the website. From the website, I take it offline with a phone call. And then from there, the arrangement process can be done over the phone, email, in person, online, as you all know. So as you can see, we've got, oh, you weren't supposed to see that yet. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, and we've got 4 platforms that we're on. So unfortunately, that means there are 3 spots where the black curtain can go up on Google Ads. And so for us to understand what a return on investment is with Google Ads, we have to remove all of the black curtains. Now, I'm going to keep this pretty high level, because if I were to go into every single platform and every button that you press, we'd be here for a couple hours. I'd probably hear a lot of snoring, and I don't know if Zach would be too happy that I took up all of his time. So I'm going to keep it high level. However, I have put together a free guide for everyone here that goes into every single thing that you need to do, which buttons to go press, which platforms to go onto. And that's also for the SEO side. And while I remember, before I forget, that heat map that I showed you guys with the numbers with the dots, there's a few places where you can get access to tools like that. We prefer to use the company called Bright Local. There's also a company called Local Falcon, and then there's another one called SEMrush. There's a handful of them where you can get that set up. All of that information is in the free guide that I'll be giving out. Or you're welcome to reach out to Trevor or I, and we'd be happy to run the report for free for any of you guys. So, okay, back to Google Ads. So we need to remove all of the black curtains with Google Ads. So let's start with the one on going from Google to the website. So this is where the first black current comes up, and this is where most people lose visibility as far as what's going on with their Google ads. Remind me, raise your hand again if you've run Google ads before or paid someone to run them. Okay? I imagine most of you saw analytics and reports like this. You can get this straight from Google. Whoever you paid probably provided these analytics for you. These are definitely better than nothing. It shows us impressions, clicks, click-through rate, average cost per click. But as you can see, we're only on step 2 of 8. So we still don't really have an idea if anything good for our business is coming out of it through the rest of the process. So this right here is what you're going to get if you don't get past this black curtain. To get past this black curtain, once again, I'm going to keep this high level for the sake of speed, but we need to introduce UTM parameters. So how many of you guys, well, raise your hand if you've seen a URL with like a really long string of what looks like gibberish behind it. Have any of you noticed that? Okay. So there's a lot of things that can be. A lot of the times, though, that's UTM parameters. And this is basically a digital passport. It tells us who someone is, where they came from, how they got there. And so if we can implement that on Google Ads, as they move to our website, if we can track their UTM parameters, then we're able to keep track of who they are, and therefore, if they came from our ads. We also need to install Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics 4. If we combine that with UTM parameters, we're able to get more in-depth information such as average time on page, bounce rate, exit. You can also see things like how many people clicked on this button or who went to this specific page. So we're able to see everything that's going on within the site right here. Now, in digital marketing, this is the industry standard of about where people get with data. Because as you can see, we're closer than where we were up here, and we're able to see what's going on the website. But this is about where it drops off. Now, I want to tell you guys a quick story of why I'm so passionate about black curtains. So when we started in the industry several years back, we were working with a local funeral home, and we were tracking everything up to this black curtain. And we had a month where we were crushing it for her. The clicks were up, the impressions were up, the click-through rate was up, the amount of people on the website, that's supposed to say more than 2 minutes, ignore that. Website visitors, everything was up, and we were doing such a good job for her. And then a couple days after the month ended, she calls, concerned, because her death calls were down and her cases were down. So we were kind of scratching our heads wondering, how is that possible when everything indicates it's going great, but yet what really matters is not going great? Those of you who have run ads before, give me a nod if you've experienced something like that before. Okay. Well, a lot of us have been in this boat. So this sent us on a quest to figure out, how do we get past this? What is beyond this black curtain? And if you can implement a lot of these things I'm about to go into, it will definitely give you a leg up over your competitors, because I am 99% sure all of them are either stopped at here or here. So if you can break past this black curtain, you're going to have a competitive advantage over your competitors when it comes to your marketing on Google. So how do we break past the black curtain and transfer information from the website to the phone call? Here we go. So the UTM parameters, that's the digital passport. That's what tells us who they are, where they came from, how they got there. This is really the key information that we need to be able to transfer across all of these platforms here. So we're going to talk about how we can do that. We also need to capture a family's information. So name of the deceased, name of the informant, informant's phone numbers. We need to capture that vital information. And then we need to determine if they're qualified. So what I mean by qualified is, back when I was calling funeral homes because my grandpa was in hospice, I would have been a qualified lead at the time because I needed a funeral home services. Now, if somebody calls and says, hey, what time is Shannon's service on Saturday? Or hey, where's Bob's obituary? Or hey, when can I pick up my grandma's ashes? Those are logistics calls. Those are not qualified leads. And so we want to optimize our marketing around people who actually need your services. We don't want to waste your ad spend on non-qualified calls. So how do we save their UTM parameters? This is where dynamic number insertion comes in. Now, I'm not going to go super in depth on this, but basically this is using tracking numbers and snippets of code on your website to be able to track a person's UTM parameters from the website to the phone call. The next thing we need to do is we need to record the call. Now, if you're in a two-way consent state, there's about a dozen of them out there. Legally, you will need to have a little recording that says this call will be recorded. But we want to record the calls so at the end of the month, we can go back and we can listen to the calls to determine if they are qualified, determine how many of those calls that came through the ads were people actually in need of my services. If they are qualified, we got to write down their identifiers, which are their UTM parameters, that digital passport, as well as the name of the deceased and the informant information. If we jot all of this down once a month, you can then create a report for yourself where you look and you see a list of all the qualified leads that came from your Google Ads. You can look back on the month and say, hey, I spent this amount of money and I generated 18 qualified leads. You can then look at the summaries that you wrote down, the name of the deceased, and see all of that information. Now, let's see here. I'm starting to see some yawning, so I'm gonna get some arms shooting up here. Even if you don't understand what I'm saying, still give me an arm raise when I ask you for it, just for my self-esteem. So, do any of you, can you guys see how much more insightful information like this is with your Google Ads than the initial report where we showed you impressions, clicks, click-through rates? Do you agree or disagree? Raise your hand. All right, thank you. So these are things that all of you guys can implement in your funeral home when you get home next week. And this is what we started to implement with that first client who had the disconnect. Impressions were up, but calls were down. We started to do this. Now, as you can imagine, this can be a little bit tedious, and so we got tired of doing it after a while. So we did build a custom AI tool that does it automatically. But if you don't have access, you guys can all do this manually. And it seems tedious, but it's not too bad. You just need to dedicate your time to it, and then your ads will perform much better. So we still have one more step to go through. So we're right here. We need to remove the black curtain from the phone call to the arrangement. So let's say you got 18 qualified leads in the month. How many of them turned into cases? Luckily for you guys, this step's really easy. All you have to do is just actually enter information into your CMS system, which is a good segue for Zach's conversation next. You can pay me afterwards. And then, so enter into the CMS, and then afterwards, go in and cross-reference the information that you wrote down with your qualified leads, as well as with your CMS. By the way, this is all dummy data. I'm not showing people's names up here, but this is example data. So you can come in and you can look at, hey, here's the qualified leads that we generated. Let's cross-reference to see if any of the name of the deceased match up with the name of the deceased in the leads that we generated from the ads. And if you do that, you can look back at the quarter or at the month, and you can see information such as closed cases from ads. In this example, you can see I spent $3,114 on my Google Ads, which generated $28,200 in revenue, $15,000 in profit, and it gave me a return on ad spend of 9.06 ratio. So that's basically saying if you're like Doug, yeah, okay. So you can be like Doug and be like, every $1 I invest, I'm gonna get $9.06 back. So you can be confident to keep reinvesting. Even when you get that really attractive $80 IOU, you can be confident to reinvest it and turn it into $160. So this can be really powerful if you send those conversions back to Google. I'm not going to go into that, but that'll give you a leg up on your competitors, and it's in the guide if you guys are interested in it. And now, if you follow this whole process, you can see that all the black curtains are gone, and you can have a very clear understanding of what kind of return on investment you're getting with your marketing. So you can know if you're lighting your money on fire, like Howard, or if you're printing money like Doug and getting a return on your marketing. Thank you.